excuse me, it just cut out. But like I was saying, and then after a number of years being involved in those, those gatherings, they get fully caught into it, and then they're at a point where they can't leave. They start to get more and more involved with the religion, whether it's Islam, whether it's Roman Catholic, whether it's Christian, Methodist, Baptist, Jehovah Witness. Those are all forms of strange women because they're not the pure woman. All right, the Lord didn't make religion. All right, and then it comes to a point where they can't leave. They're fully uh bought in. They've invested their whole soul in the religion that they're in, and that goes into not only religion, it goes to all styles and forms of life. Whether you're a pimp, whether you're a drug dealer, whether you're a prostitute, you know, whether you're a thief, you a member. Those are all strange women. All right, because they're not the right. It's not the right, and it's not the pure way. All right, it's not the way of wisdom, and that's not the way to the Lord. That's not the place or the path that the Lord chose us to go. He chose us to be Israelites. All right, we were called by the Lord's name to follow this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding unto the end. All right, and as you grow in the spirit of the Lord, you continue to grow. You continue to open up more understanding. You hit the highways and byways, and you teach others about the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, and you like the scripture says, reprove, rebuke. All right. So I want to get this scripture also in Sirach, the 4th chapter. All right. If a man commit himself unto her, her being Sophia, he shall inherit her, and his generation shall hold her in possession. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline. Right. So when you come into the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the path is narrow, it's hard, and it tends to torment you on each and every side with discipline. The discipline is the sitting down to gather the understanding, as well as to catch the hell, the temptations. Like it tells you in Sirach, the 2nd chapter, when thou comest to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptations. All right, and Jake, it's hard for a lot of Israelites to get this. This is a book that's filled with mourning, lamentations, and woe. Our people, they be afraid to watch movies pertaining to slavery, man. More so to read about the deep details of the hell that our people caught, and read about the judgments, read about all these different things that the Lord put on us as a nation for disobeying the law, statutes, and commandments, on top of the understanding of the chariots, which are so-called UFOs. All these deep dark mysteries, because they are dark is in the form of a secret, but when you read and you get an understanding, it becomes light. It becomes you know it becomes beacons of purification, so to speak, elements of illumination that you use to help guide you in your walk. But Jake, they can't go through those different paths because it torments their minds. It breaks up everything that they once learned, and it makes them actually have to recreate their whole system of thinking, shut down the old man, and redevelop. All right, and not many individuals can do that. Can tear down their old man that they were growing up to be, and starting all over again. All right, because majority of our people are stuck in their ways. All right, but that's what Sophia requires. All right, it's a full sacrifice, just like when you're with a woman. The if you're with a woman that's that's really about development, she's gonna really desire a full commitment. A full commitment. You're gonna have to be committed to working, because what a lot of times you work so that you and your woman could get a house, so that y'all could eventually get married. This is things of the world standard, of course, get married and things of that nature, so you can as it is written, a man leaveth his father and mother and cleaveth to his woman, so that you could actually jump out the nest, and fully be involved with the relationship. So it's the same thing with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shema Shah. This is a full-scale commitment, but some men, they want to half-ass with the relationship with the Lord, and that's why they get cut off. But continuing on, it says, until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws. Right, and wisdom doesn't just trust each and every individual. Everybody's not trustworthy. When somebody gives their trust, then that means you have went through the ringer. You went through a series of trials and tests, and you cleared each and every one of them to show and solidify that you are trustworthy. All right, verse 18. Then will she return the straight way unto him and comfort him and show him her secrets. But if he go wrong, she will forsake him and give him over to his own ruin. And there's a lot of men that went wrong and they got forsaken by the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. As it is written, wisdom shall not enter into a malicious soul. So if your soul is full of malice, jealousy, envy, this wisdom tends to leak out of you as a leaky vessel. All right, and you get all the wisdom that was given unto you, expound unto you, stripped from you. All right, then you get cast out of the congregation, and you get berated and laughed at, you know, because what? You didn't count the cost. You didn't use the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding unto an endurance unto the end, on top of all the other fruits of the spirit that Paul the apostle, Peter, all these different wise men spoke of. You know, like I said, the patience, you know, the charity, all the godliness, you know, the long suffering, all these things have to be in you for you to actually endure unto the end. And many are called, but few are chosen. So it says, observe the opportunity and beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul. I'm gonna jump down a little bit. Verse 24, for by speech wisdom shall be known, and learning by the word of the tongue. So when you're coming into the wisdom of the Lord, you develop understanding, and through understanding is the utterance of what you understand, which is speech, and speech shows what level you are on in the spirit of wisdom, and that comes through counsel, that comes through judgment, that comes through expounding on the understanding of Yahweh Shema Shah, answering as need requireth, you know, being sometimes it, not even speaking much shows that you actually you know, you're a man of wisdom. And I want to get this this point, and also in Colossians, and I'm gonna close, but this is Colossians 1:28, whom we preach, warning every man and teaching every man in all wisdom, that we may present every man perfect in Yahweh Shah Mashiach. So when we preach, we're supposed to teach every man in all wisdom. All right, not just different parts of wisdom or a percentage of wisdom, all wisdom. All right, which when you read uh, Wisdom of Solomon, Solomon said it best on the type of wisdom that you're supposed to expound on: the reasoning of men, the virtues, the roots, the beginning, ending, and midst of times, which is the prophecy, the history. All right, the present. You have to know all these different things for you to be deemed wise, and that's what Solomon prayed for in the beginning when he was to sit on the throne, and the Lord gave him Sophia. So we're supposed to be like many Solomons, all right, in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. All right, many Yahweh Shahs, many Solomons, many Davids, because Solomon, was the characteristic that he was strongly known for, was to be a man of heavy proverbs and of heavy wisdom. So he chased and apprehended wisdom, Sophia, unto the end. So I want to go into this word Sophia, and it's part of the speech. It's a feminine noun because wisdom is a woman. And I want to go into these definitions. It says, wisdom, the broad and full of intelligence, used of the knowledge of very diverse matters, which the word diverse means different. So you have a knowledge and a broad intelligence when it comes to different matters and situations. All right, it says the wisdom which belongs to men, the very knowledge of things human and divine, acquired by acuteness and experience, and summing up in maxims and proverbs. So you should know the things of the elements around you, and also the divine things, the things that are so-called supernatural, the spiritual. All right, was to come upon the times. All right, as well as knowing the basic, have the basic outline of living. And that's why it says it's acquired by acuteness and experience, which the word acute goes into sharpness. You become sharp through studying, through research, through experience. All right, Proverbs 27:17, and also from learning from individuals around you. And that's why I said it's summoned up through maxims and proverbs, because the wisdom that these men possessed in the days of old, one of the main ways they expounded was inscribing it in writings for men in latter times to read. The science and learning, the act of interpreting dreams, and always giving the sages advice. And that reminds me of Daniel, Joseph, those men. They expounded their wisdom, showed their immense amount of understanding through interpretation of dreams and giving sages advice. They actually advised kings. That's why they were in the king's house. You had top men in the scriptures that they gave wise advice to men, to kings such as Joseph in Egypt. He gave pharaohs the understanding of the famine, so that Egypt would be saved through the maize or the corn, and that's what helped Egypt become a superpower. So continuing on, the intelligence evinced in discovering the meaning of some mysterious number or vision. Right. And this is the vision. The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is the vision of Yahweh Shem Shai, and we're supposed to make it plain upon tables. All right. That's why it's also known as what? A mystery. It's hidden. It's masked upon the masses of the people. But our job is to unveil the mask, reveal, which the word re is back, and veil goes into veil. Reveal the understanding so that our people can discover a full understanding of the word to come into the knowledge. All right, continuing on, skill and management of affairs, because there's affairs and there's situations, circumstances that may transpire in your daily life or in a ministry, and you have to have the skill to manage, all right, those type of affairs. All right, continuing on, because before I actually continue, because decision making skills, that's a skill that requires a lot of wisdom. The decision of refraining your tone, the decision of suspending a brother or showing mercy, all those things are imperative. Devout and proper prudence and intercourse with men, not disciples of Yahushua, skill and discretion in imparting Christian truth. Yeah, and you have to have that devout and proper prudence. All right, because prudence is another important word which goes into wisdom. The forms of wisdom, like I said, the skill of discretion, knowing to retain and knowing to refrain yourself from situations and circumstances that's not feasible, knowing what to tell Jake, what advice to expound onto them, because our people will be in certain situations where they'll need a wise man, a man of high and divine wisdom to get out of, and it's all up to us to give the proper and the best understanding so that Jake can, grow and elevate. It says the knowledge and practice of the requisite for godly and upright living. And that's what this thing is all about: godly and upright living, moral elevation. Continuing on, supreme intelligence such as belongs to the Most High. Right, and these words belong to the Most High. This word was written with the finger of the Most High, and the Lord put His influence and His inspiration in certain men for them to inscribe them in physical writings for us to understand. All right, but this is still supreme intelligence, as the definition says. To Yahweh Shai, continuing on, we know Christ as the Mashiach, which is Yahweh Shai. The wisdom of the Most High as evinced in forming and executing counsels and the formation and government of the world and the scriptures. Right, and this is a form of government. The word government is to rule the mind. And you rule the people's minds with the wisdom, law, statutes, and commandments. That's why we teach our people of such. And to stay within the borders of that, and anything that is against the ways of the Lord to condemn and to stay and flee away from. That's pure divine wisdom. That's supreme intelligence. That's prudence. And that's what the Lord inscribed us to go by since the beginning of time unto the end. So, this is all I wanted to, expound on wisdom, staying in the wisdom, embracing the wisdom unto the end, not departing, and always growing in your understanding through humility and through always challenging your spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah. So, I want anybody giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shema Shah by Shimmer Kakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom Akim.